The FIFA World Cup isn't just a tournament, it's a global phenomenon that stops the world. We're talking about an event where 715 million people tuned in just to watch one single match in £2.6. But beyond the goals and the glory, there are numbers that will absolutely blow your mind. Did you know there's a player who got 3 yellow cards in a single match? Or that one nation managed to concede 16 goals in a single tournament? Buckle up. This is the ultimate World Cup breakdown. Let's start with what matters most, putting the ball in the net. If we talk about the ultimate marksman, the crown belongs to Germany's Miroslav Klose. He holds the all-time record with 16 goals across 4 tournaments. He narrowly beat out Brazil's Ronaldo, who sits at 15. But here's a record that might never be broken. While Klose needed 4 tournaments to hit his mark, France's Jules Fontaine scored 13 goals in a single World Cup back in 1958. That is efficiency on another level. Speaking of single-game heroics, Russia's Oleg Salenko went absolute beast mode in 1994, scoring 5 goals in just one match against Cameroon. That same game gave us another record. Roger Milla scored for Cameroon, making him the oldest goalscorer in World Cup history at 42 years and 39 days old. Now, fast forward to the finals. Only 2 men have ever scored a hat-trick in the biggest game on earth. England's Geoff Hurst in 1966 and Kylian Mbappé in 2022. Mbappé also holds the record for most goals in World Cup finals overall, with 4. And let's not forget the fastest goal ever. You barely had time to sit down in 2002 before Turkey's Hakan Şükür scored against South Korea. It took him just 11 seconds. When we look at nations, Brazil is the undisputed king. They are the only team to appear in every single World Cup, that's 22 tournaments straight. They also hold the record for the most wins, 76, and the most goals scored, 237 in history. But don't sleep on Germany. While Brazil has the most trophies with 5, Germany, including West Germany, has been the most consistent, reaching the top 4 a staggering 13 times and appearing in 8 finals. However, they also hold a less desirable record. They have conceded the most goals in history, letting in 130. That's the price you play for, playing so many games. On the flip side of success, we have Mexico. They hold the record for the most losses in World Cup history, with 28 defeats. And how about a shout out to Hungary? They might not be a powerhouse today, but in 1954, they were terrifying. They scored 27 goals in a single tournament and hold the record for the highest average goals per match at 5.40. They also owned the biggest win ever, a 10-1 destruction of El Salvador in 1982. Age is just a number, but in the World Cup, those numbers are fascinating. The oldest player to ever step on the field is Egypt's goalkeeper, Essam El Hadari, who played at 45 years and 161 days old in 2018. On the other end of the spectrum, the youngest player ever is Northern Ireland's Norman Whiteside, who debuted at 17 years and 41 days in 1982. And the youngest to score in a final? That's the legend Pelé, who found the net at just 17 years and 249 days old in 1958. Speaking of longevity, let's talk about Lionel Messi. In 2022, he broke the record for the most World Cup matches played, with 26 appearances. He's also the only player to register an assist in 5 different tournaments. And we have to mention the players who joined the exclusive 5 World Cups club. It's a short list: Antonio Carvajal, Rafael Marquez, Andrés Guardado, Lothar Matthäus, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo stands alone as the only man to score in 5 different World Cups. It wouldn't be a World Cup without a little drama, right? Let's talk about the bad boys. The fastest red card in history belongs to Uruguay's José Batista, who was sent off just 56 seconds into a match against Scotland in 1986. If you like chaos, look no further than the 2006 match between Portugal and the Netherlands, known as the Battle of Nuremberg. That game set the record for cards. 4 red cards and 16 yellow cards were handed out. But the record for the most yellow cards in a single game was actually broken recently. The 2022 quarterfinal between the Netherlands and Argentina saw 18 yellow cards flashed by the referee. And we can't forget the bizarre case of Josip Šimunić in 2006. In a match against Australia, referee Graham Paul mistakenly gave him 3 yellow cards before finally sending him off. That's a mistake for the history books.
The tournament has come a long way since 1930. The first ever goal was scored by France's Lucien Laurent.
Hosting has its own records. Brazil, Italy, France, Germany, and Mexico have all hosted twice. But Mexico is about to make history in 2026 by becoming the first country to host the World Cup 3 times. The 2026 World Cup is going to be massive. It's expanding from 32 to 48 teams. This means we are jumping from 64 matches to a staggering 104 matches. It's also the first time 3 nations, the USA, Canada, and Mexico, will co-host the event. Historically, home advantage is real. England won their only title at home in 1966. However, South Africa, 2010, and Qatar, 2022, hold the unfortunate distinction of being the only host nations to be eliminated in the group stage. Qatar actually lost all 3 of their matches, the worst performance by a host ever.
Player with the most World Cup trophies. Brazil's legend, Pelé, is the only player in history to have won the World Cup title 3 times, 1958, 1962 and 1970. All-time youngest goal scorer. The youngest player ever to score a goal in the World Cup is Pelé of Brazil, who found the net at the tender age of 17 years and 239 days during the 1958 tournament. All-time most assists. While the record for assists is complex depending on the era counted, the legendary Pelé is credited with having provided the most assists in World Cup history, totaling 10 assists spanning 1958 to 1970. Player with the most FIFA World Cup Best Player awards. Argentina's maestro, Lionel Messi, is the only player to have won the Golden Ball award twice in his career, 2014 and 2022. Highest number of goals in a single match. The match holding the record for the highest aggregate score is the quarter-final clash at the 1954 World Cup in Switzerland, where Austria defeated Switzerland 7-5, resulting in a staggering total of 12 goals. Match with the highest attendance in stadium. The definitive attendance record for a single World Cup match remains the decisive final group stage game in the 1950 tournament in Brazil, known as the Maracanazo. The match, where Uruguay defeated host Brazil 2-1, holds the official record of 173,850 paid spectators at the Maracanã Stadium. However, unofficial estimates suggest the actual crowd size reached nearly 200,000 people. Match with the highest viewership, global, including TV events. The most recent World Cup shattered viewership records. The match with the highest recorded global non-unique viewership is the 2022 final between Argentina and France in Qatar, which garnered an estimated audience of about 1.5 billion people worldwide. The number of World Cup goals jumped drastically from just 70 to 172. Since the format expanded to 32 teams in 1998, the total matches increased to 64. Automatically pushing the total goal count to its peak. The all-time record for the most goals in history was broken at the latest edition, the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. This tournament recorded a massive 172 goals in 64 matches, making it the highest scoring edition ever.
France 98 and Brazil 2014 share second place with the exact same number, 171 goals, while the 2018 World Cup in Russia follows in third with 169 goals. Meanwhile, if we go back to the early days when teams were limited, the totals were much lower. The inaugural 1930 Uruguay edition saw only 70 goals in 18 matches. Then, in 1934 Italy, despite having 16 teams, the knockout format meant only 17 games were played, resulting in the exact same total of 70 goals. Finally, France 1938 produced slightly more, with 84 goals in 18 matches. Although modern tournaments have the highest total, the 1954 World Cup in Switzerland holds the record for the highest average goals per game in history. A crazy 140 goals were scored in just 26 matches. That's an incredible average of 5.38 goals per game. Conversely, even though Italy 1990 had more total goals, it set an unwanted record. The tournament with the lowest average in history, at just 2.21 goals per game. This low average was caused by excessive defensive or negative tactics. This condition forced FIFA to reform the rules, including introducing the back pass rule and awarding 3 points for a win starting in 1994 to encourage more attacking play. Now, with the 48-team format and 104 matches coming in 2026, the record of 172 goals in Qatar is predicted to be surpassed since way more games will be played. Country with the longest streak of consecutive wins. Brazil, the perennial powerhouse, owns the record for the most consecutive match victories in the World Cup tournament, logging 11 straight wins across the 2002 and 2006 editions. Meanwhile, the country with the longest losing streak, Mexico, holds the record for the longest losing streak tournament, with 9 consecutive defeats between the 1930s and 1950s World Cups. Continent that has hosted the World Cup the most times. Europe, UEFA, holds the record for hosting the World Cup the most times, having done so on 11 previous occasions through 2018. This record will continue to grow as Spain and Portugal are scheduled to co-host the main tournament in 2030. There are still plenty of insane records and mind-blowing facts in FIFA World Cup history. And with the tournament just around the corner, this topic only gets more exciting. Make sure to check out our video, Top 100 Biggest Wins in FIFA World Cup History, uploaded 2 years ago. One video, 100 facts. Hit subscribe and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.